One of the segments I worked on for CHGTV was the Simpsonwood meetings. If you look up those documents and what the people said in those meetings, when they said, you know, we're talking about our grandchildren, we're talking about our kids. You know, these people were making decisions, basically committing fraud, but then going home and deciding they weren't going to vaccinate their kid or they were going to withhold the MMR vaccine until 3, but they weren't advising the American people against that. So we're going to have about, 2 more minutes. I just wanted to wrap up before we run into the next break, but I want to talk about how the Vaxxed movie. How did you guys get together? How did you hear about this? We'll start with that.
Well, I actually contacted Andy while I was still working with the CDC whistleblower, and I had primarily been researching thimerosal, the mercury-containing preservative that used to be in many of the vaccines, and still, up to this point has been in the flu shot that they gave it in pregnant women, but I was no expert in the MMR whatsoever, and so I called Andy and filled him in on the story of the CDC whistleblower and said, look, you are the MMR guy. I do not know what I'm doing here. Does this make any sense to you?
The answer is absolutely, and we decided at that stage that we had to record the conversations. It was coming firsthand from senior scientist at the CDC. Brian, because he's more honourable than I am, was initially a little reluctant to do that, but he did it and used to drive 3 hours north so that he could legally record the conversations, and the film came out of it. Now, people said, well, you just made that up, or it was false, or if we had committed defamation, if one word of that film had been wrong or mistaken, we would have been sued to the moon and back again. There was not a whisper, because they knew that it was true.